What's good, YouTube? Andre here with the DM Network, y'all. And today I want to talk more about Dragon Ball Game Project Z and how potentially this game will it be geared more towards the old school guys like myself as far as play styles, as far as combat systems, or is it going to be geared more towards the new person to kind of get them acclimated to the game? Now, before we get into all that, y'all know the routine. If you're new to the channel, lend me your subscriptions. They're completely free. Doesn't cost you anything at all. Just boom, click that button there. Subscribe to the channel. Turn on notifications because y'all upload every single day. I've missed a couple days this past week, y'all, but we getting on that 7 days a week. So subscribe so you don't miss anything. Follow me on Instagram at DMGaming5 because I will post notifications there as well as post on the channel if I am going to be doing a video later in the day or anything like that. But blase, blase, blase. Let's get back into it. So One Piece World Seeker came out on the 15th, and some people, there's a little mixed reviews. You got some people that's really liking it, some people that's not. I haven't had a chance to play it yet, but I am planning on getting it. It was between that and Division 2, and I'm still debating. That's why I hadn't made a move yet. But some people are saying that, One Piece World Seeker, I was listening to one review, and they were saying that the game is really simple. Like, the combats are so simple, there's no depth to them, that you basically just spam this one combo and you can pretty much defeat anybody and anything. And I got to thinking about Dragon Ball Game Project Z because with One Piece World Seeker, there's been a lot of One Piece games out. This is the first open world game for One Piece. And I imagine Bandai is at the stage where they're trying to draw in more people. And I was wondering with this game, because they know that with Dragon Ball Super, there's a new branch of Dragon Ball fans who hadn't had a chance to play the older sagas and things like that, and kind of want to take a video game approach to taking them back in time in a sense, while still playing the nostalgic role for us, the people who's been there forever, So I was wondering and I was thinking, because I did a video about the combat and somebody made a comment about how do I think the combat is going to be structured. And it's very interesting because I drew comparisons to the One Piece World Seeker game as far as its open worldness. Now with this game, I don't know. Nobody knows, of course. So everything that I'm talking about is speculation, but that's what we've been doing all this time. So why change now? So I think that the game could be, if they do it right, it should be a little bit of both. It should be simple enough for you to be able to play it and enjoy the story, but also for the people who do like a challenge, I think there should be intricate additions to the combat system. That not so much to make it like a fighter. I don't want it to be like a fighter. We have Dragon Ball Fighters for that. You see what I'm saying? More like the Xenoverse Tenkaichi style of combat, where it is simple for somebody to just pick up the stick and mash square a bunch of times and do a combo. But it also has that depth, like in Rage and Blast, where you can pull off the Dragon Rush combos and things like that. You see what I'm saying? It should be something like that, where, if I want to get down with the nitty gritty and do some dirty stuff, I can do it. Or if I just want to just relax and play through and enjoy it, I can do that as well. That is really going to be, in my opinion, contingent upon if the game has online connectivity. Because in multiplayer games, there needs to be, there's always a necessity for depth, for a little bit more depth and complexity to combat systems for competition reasons. You even look at Xenoverse. I mean, I can get in Xenoverse and just tap some buttons and win. And then I can get in and actually play pretty technical if I wanted to. That option and freedom is there. One Piece World Seeker has zero online elements to it. There is zero multiplayer in the game. And so the game is made in a way for you to play it and just kind of enjoy the story, a relaxing open world game and things like that. Another issue that they pointed out was that in the open world, there's like nothing there. Nothing there. And I think somebody just commented today about if the farmer's not in the game, he doesn't want the game. And for y'all know the reference, the farmer, whenever Raditz came, the farmer, was there and tried to ward off Raditz and stuff. And then Dragon Ball Z Abridged just brought that to a whole nother level. It was so hilarious watching the farmer and stuff like that. But yeah, I get the reference and I appreciate that. It really made me laugh today. So I really thank you for that. But in the Dragon Ball world, there's not a lot of people. The only time you see people is if they're in the city and they're watching TV, or Goku and them, or somebody may be walking through the city. But the world of Dragon Ball is not really populated all that much. like I said, unless you go into a city scene. Oh, excuse me. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, I just yawned in the video, and it's gonna go in the video. I'm not gonna edit that out. We keep everything real here. I like to be upfront, so it is what it is. But I like that in the city, you have a lot of people and stuff like that. So if we have cities in the game, which we do, we saw Goku walking past Capsule Corp, but we didn't see any NPCs. Will it be populated? You go into Conton City and it's populated by NPCs and player NPCs if you're in online. So that part fulfills, making it a populated play area. But will they do that in this game? Will you even care? I'm gonna be honest. I don't really care. I don't care if I'm in the city and there's not people walking around. Who cares? Somebody does. So for those of you who care, how big of an issue is it if there's not people walking around in the cities like there are in the anime and stuff like that? And like I said, that plays a little bit of role on what you're able to do. Like if the combat is in the open world with people around, that's a big reason why they're not gonna have people around. Because if you're sitting there fighting somebody on the street and you do a Kamehameha blast, you probably gonna destroy some people with it. You get what I'm saying? So it's a good chance that if the combat is action straight in the open world combat, there's not gonna be people around. But there's also a good chance that if the combat, like when you get into a fight, that it goes to a fighting screen or arena, or similar to what's in the background right now. You go to a screen like that where you're basically in the battle stage. Then I could see them putting people around because you're not going to be around people in the fighting stage. It just depends. Like if they do it like they did with Naruto, Naruto had it was an open sandbox, a free roam. You can go wherever you wanted to, but it essentially, in my opinion, it wasn't open world. When you say open world, then there's no cutscenes for the action. Like you look at Ghost Recon Wildlands. It's an open world game. All the action takes place in the open world. There's no cutscenes for it. As opposed to a sandbox game where free roam sandbox is like Naruto, where you could walk anywhere you wanted to, but if I got into a battle or something like that, it would take me to a different screen where I would do battle at, something like that. So, and y'all, this game isn't confirmed to be open world. Mind you, though, that's just speculation from everybody because they see Goku walking and then they see him standing there at the end. It could be open sandbox for all we know. And in my opinion, an open sandbox would make more sense for this game because having an open world game leaves a lot of questions as to like, okay, what do you do when you go to Planet Namek, and stuff like that. Dragon Ball Z Budokai 3, the story mode, that was sandbox. That was sandbox. That wasn't open world. Why? Because the fights didn't take place in the open world. But when you look at the Super Nintendo game, Legacy of Goku was open world. You can go anywhere you wanted to, do whatever you wanted to. The fighting took place in the open world in a sense. Same thing with Legend of the Super Saiyan on the Super Nintendo, the game that I was talking about a long time ago. That game was like that. This new mobile game that's coming out is like that. So it's all depending on, like I said, if the game's going to be multiplayer or not and stuff like that. But, we're still going to speculate and we're still going to talk about it. So that's that. But, me straying off topic, the combat system, I don't know. I hope it is simple to learn, to be able to learn it. But I also do want some form of complexity to it. In all honesty, I don't want it to be complex like a fighting game. I don't want that at all. But when I talk about the combat system, I don't want it to be complex. I just want there to be depth. You see what I'm saying? Like where I can do stuff to say if they shoot a blast at me that I can knock it away. I have that in the combat system to knock the blast away or do a beam struggle or dodge their punches and stuff like that. That's complexity to that's depth. That's what I call depth to the combat system. Complexity is when it's just like Dragon Ball Fighters, where you're able to do mix all these different moves together to string together combos and things like that. I don't want complexity. I want depth. I want depth. I want to be able to do a lot of different things, and it's possible. I hope that they do put it in the game, and I also hope that our attributes are reflected in that. If I have a character whose speed is very high, I should do better at dodging punches and things like that, So all of that is yet to be seen. All of that is yet to be determined. One Piece has launched. We're approaching the end of middle of March. We know we have Super Dragon Ball Heroes coming out in April. So it's just, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see when are we going to start hearing information about this game. I know Toei was just at a Comic-Con event in Mexico, but they didn't talk about Dragon Ball Super or anything. I mean, Dragon Ball Project Z or anything like that. So, I mean, it's getting closer. I would have figured that we would have at least heard something by now. I don't see us getting out of March without hearing anything. But I mean, with the way that the past month has gone, I mean, that's very possible. But with One Piece World Seeker being out, Bandai doesn't have any other games to market aside from Super Dragon Ball Heroes. And the issue with that is that game is only on the Switch. So they're losing out on a huge market. That's why I said that I believe now that it'll be after One Piece World Seeker comes out and kind of alongside Super Dragon Ball Heroes. But we'll see, because they did release a trailer about the gameplay with that and stuff like that. So, y'all, that's all I got for right now, man. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Please, all, if you're new to the channel, subscribe, drop a comment. I have been a little bit later responding to comments because I actually have to go into YouTube and do it. Because if I do it on the studio app in my phone, it doesn't reply it to the person that makes the comment. This was pointed out to me, and I apologize. So I have a little bit more work to do to reply to comments, but I am going to get back to doing those. So till next time, y'all, thanks for watching. Peace.